هذه الحلقة بالتعاون مع محتوايز.
Hello there, wonderful people, whoever listening to me. I am very pleased to be joining this podcast. A special thanks to Abdullah for choosing me. Just to begin, of who I am, my name is Atheer Alhazmi, a compassionate and enthusiastic nurse. I aspire to be an influential writer and inspiration speaker. With you one of the greatest books that have astonishingly turned all of my obstacles into an opportunities. Moreover, one thing about me all must know is that I admire mind-blowing and life-changing reads that gives me lessons about how to outgrow mentally and physically, whether it was from personal experiences, from authors or celebrities, those kind of wisdom talks. And what really fascinates me is how authors have the tremendous impact on taking you to discover your journey, something more like transformational, a big change. And magnificently, I love how they tend to guide you as in spiritual enlightenment, or how to change your old habits, and how to overcome mistakes, helping you to find your own success, build courageous life, and developing new ways to believe on your transformation. You'll see it if you believe it, by Wayne Dyer. So the book was written for a reason, and it was much like impacted by his childhood. Since he was a child, Wayne's sadly never seen his father before. His father abandoned the family. He was a troubled man who avoided honest work, drank excessively, and physically abused his mother, and spent some time in prison. Wayne spent his early years growing in foster homes where his mother visited him whenever possible. He pictured his father an abusive and non-caring person, unfortunately, and this pain began to become a nightmare for Wayne. The more he heard of his father, the more he hated him. So he became obsessed finding him. He also made phone calls to relatives. He made trips to distant cities to discover what this man was like. So he grew into an adulthood of a very hard circumstances where he needed his father or his parents to encourage and support him, as if he was looking for contentment, love, care. So days later, he received a phone call from his cousin telling him that his father died 10 years earlier of liver cirrhosis and other complications, and his body been shipped to Mississippi. At that time, silence hit Kane. No words, no word left to say. His heart pounded with emotions of grief and sadness. He shivered with shock and heartbreak. At that time, he was completing his doctoral studies. He did not want to continue writing. Personally, he was going through painful divorce. Physically, he was overweight and out of shape, and spiritually, he was stuck. His dreams about his father scattered. Wayne visited his father's grave. He was transfixed for the first time. He cried out loud, oblivious to his surroundings, and kept demanding answers from a grave. Hours passed. He began to feel a deep sense of relief, became calm and quiet. Talking to himself while looking at the gravestone, he said, "I can no longer think hateful thoughts about you. When I think of you, I will think of you with compassion and love. I'm letting go of all this disorder that is inside me." So in one pure moment, he experienced feeling forgiveness. That simple act of forgiveness was his turning point, his beginning of an entirely new level of experiencing life for him. Amazingly, when he went back to New York, miracles began to appear. He easily wrote his first book, and he had the greatest chance to publish it. Every step along the way was another miracle to happen to Wayne. Strange and wonderful events occurred with delightful frequency. Even though he met his love of his life and mostly his speaking schedule increased and his performances in front of the audience became effortless, he also had successful seminars, his personal family improved, he had achieved what most authors dreamed about. He had the best-selling book in the US and appeared in talk shows. From then, Wayne realized that writing was taking him in new directions. Like this book I'm talking about is that writing about how to utilize specific strategies in self-understanding to how to become a more assertive human being. And lastly, Wayne had wanted to share his book. You'll see it if you believe it for you to read his universal principles and how he have been transformed into a new man, a happier, a more purposeful, more fully alive man than he ever dreamed possible for himself. And he hoped that his efforts and energy are visible in his book, and that will help you to make a positive, loving difference in your life. Has been categorized into 7 powerful chapters. Each of them is telling you from Wayne's personal transcending stories and other people's experiences. Within each chapter, he involved writing effective principles for you to practice in your daily actions. At the end of each chapter, he wrote bullet points with self-reminders for us to apply in order to become into a reality. For me, it's not only a book to read and throw it back to the shelf, but it's mostly like my favorite friend who supports, encourages, and keeps advising me to truly believe in my dreams, so one day I will see it. So Wayne taught me how to believe in my dreams, how I need to visualize and practice visualizing in the terms to possess the mental image I have always created. And honestly, I've enjoyed practicing the steps and all the points he have encountered in his book. I do really all recommend you to is that one of my best and favorite chapters is about detachment and letting go. I mean, the more you let go of people and things, the fewer obstacles you have for your life journey. And I guarantee we all have failed moving on. We apparently don't know how to let go. I mean, seriously, no one have taught us how to detach ourselves from someone or something, like a job or whatever it could be. We tend to suffer and hold ourselves back to the old memories, old habits. Really, people misunderstand the principle of detachment, and it means the moment you awaken, you realize that the things and people to which you were attached are illusions created for the dream. And once you'll try to detach yourself completely from the need to hold to things and people, you will then see how unimportant they will be. And I believe that answers can be found in detachment. We have grown to believe we cannot possibly live comfortably without. And we really must acknowledge to shift the perspective from saying, I can't live without you, to I can live without you, but I need time to heal and grow. Because the more we give away, the more we have. So let things flow without demanding or fighting for things to stay as they were. So when correlated detachment with relationship with his wife, he said, I have stopped judging and fighting the differences and instead remind myself to be grateful for the new flavor that she brings so deliciously into my life every day. I mean, wow, I loved it. I love how he converted the principle from attachment to detachment, instead of saying, if only she had a different point of view, I could love her more. He just loved her the way she is. He did not change her. He did not fight with her or something, but he just loved her the way she is. And he kind of transcended that principle. I mean, this internal dialogue about detachment in human relationship does not mean an absence of caring. It means that I care for you, but I have to respect and accept the quality you have without changing you. And this is so beautiful for me. I feel there is so much more to tell you, but I want you guys to buy this book and read it. I want you to learn from it. I want you to understand every word Wayne's have been written in this book. There's many beautiful chapters about forgiveness, about abundance, about thought. It's so much great that it's vibrating, and you will see your dreams pursuing as you're trying to read every next chapters. I mean, it gives you an opportunity to outgrow and expand, and you'll see yourself learning more. It's so much fulfilling once you try to change the old habits of yourself and learning new fundamentals with different transitions. Chapter that gave me a spark of change is about abundance. To feel abundant, to feel whole, to feel complete, or to feel fulfilled is the meaning of service, of helping others, of giving something to others. This love will recirculate and it will rechannel into our lives. It will come back to us one day. So whatever you give to someone, one day it will come back to you. And I believe that once we start to give others the need of help, when we start to give others our time to listen, to just give them a piece of advice or anything that could make them feel so much happier or lighter, it will reach us to make us like shining or growing or flourishing us. And I've also experienced feeling so much abundant, and I do really feel that time once I go back to sleep, and I do think of the times where I gave my friends all the things that made them feel loved and cared. I mean, I do want you all to do this, to feel abundant, to make yourself feel, so much loved without looking for external validation from love. You're doing your own love by service. That's what I meant. Lastly, thank you all for giving the time to listen, even though I have not shared everything within this book, because I want you to buy the book. You'll see it if you believe it. It's been a great time recording about the book. And once again, thank you all.